In this, the 40th season of SIUE Cougar basketball, it is necessary to take a look back at the past before the Cougars make the jump to NCAA Division I and Ohio Valley Conference competition. During those 39 seasons, the Cougars have amassed a record of 546 wins and 518 losses. It all began in the fall of 1967 with the birth of the SIUE Athletic Department, SIUE's first athletic director and first men's basketball coach, Harry Gallatin.
About all we saw when I was assistant dean of students looking out of the Rendleman building was players out in the field just having fun. So we felt that there had to be something a lot better than that for our students here at SIUE. So we went to John Rendleman, who was the chancellor at the time, and requested that we look into having a program here at the university for athletics. As athletic director, I wanted a basketball program, but I had to go to the city of Edwardsville, and specifically the high school, and Joe Luco, and beg him for a few dates that we might be able to get to have at least a 6 or 8 game schedule in the beginning.
Gallatin, a member of the National Basketball Hall of Fame, remembers the basketball tryouts that happened that first season.
Well, I think the early students needed some kind of impetus here. An awful lot of them, of course, came to classes in the daytime, but they all went home at night. So it was strictly a commuter campus. And something like this, I think, to provide an opportunity for them on campus was something they all look forward to, and a lot of them never even played high school basketball. So in looking at their talent after, coming from the pros, I was a little skeptical about whether or not some of them would be able to play, but we, I think, had that practice in the old Shirtlift gymnasium that had that, I think, a track around the top of it, and you couldn't shoot from the corners. And we used that gym for a couple years for practice. And it was quite an experience, and trying to provide the opportunity for the students at the time was the primary goal. And I think an awful lot of them took pride in the basketball team after we established the program.
A member of that 1967-68 team was SIUE baseball coach Gary Collins.
I kind of went out on a whim just to see what was going on. Had a part-time job and was going to school, but thought, what the heck. And the tryout was held at the Alton Dental School in the old gym before they even remodeled it. And it was full, but here was Harry Gallatin out there, the guy that used to coach the St. Louis Hawks and SIU Carbondale, and he kept 2 of us out of that. However many guys were there, there was probably 50 to 70 there, and both of us ended up playing. We weren't very good the first year, and I think we only played about 10 games, but my gosh, we practiced every night. Season wasn't as long as nowadays, and we were associate members of the NCAA, so we weren't even a full NCAA member yet. And I had a lot of fun, and Harry was a great coach. I mean, the man, holy cow, did he know a lot about basketball. And I actually one time thought maybe about becoming a basketball coach, but baseball was always my first love.
Collins' favorite moment of his career was a win at McKendree on January 15th, 1969.
Well, we had them tied, and with about 15 seconds, Harry called timeout, and he designed a play for Rich Essington, who was definitely our best player. He and Bernie Pitts were our 2 best players. And for some reason, of course, every time a coach calls for a play at the end, it never works. And I remember getting the ball with about 8 seconds left at the top of the key, and at that point I knew I was going to shoot it. So I went down the lane and under the basket and was falling away and threw one up, and it went right in.
Rich Essington led the Cougars in scoring from 1970 to 1971. Essington is 3rd all-time in field goal attempts in SIUE history. Jim Dudley took over the reins of the Cougar program in 1970. Dudley would spend the next 11 seasons leading the team to 144 wins. And in 1974-75 season, SIUE garnered its first All-American, Keith McFarland. McFarland averaged a school record 23.9 points per game. McFarland ranks 6th all-time in SIUE scoring history, and in his career, McFarland notched 18 field goals in a contest 3 separate times. Keel Peebles is 2nd all-time in SIUE scoring history with 1,824 points. From 1975 through 1979, Peebles ranks in the top 5 in SIUE history in games played, field goals, field goal attempts, free throws made, free throw attempts, free throw percentage, and assists. Tom Puglisi was the 3rd coach in Cougar history from 1981 to 1983. In 1984, SIUE hired Madison High School head coach Larry Graham. Graham would spend 8 seasons at the helm of the Cougars, winning the most games in school history at 174 and leading SIUE to the NCAA Division II tournament 3 times. Several players excelled during the Graham era, including Kenny Stanley. Stanley is 5th all-time in scoring at SIUE and in the top 5 in field goal attempts and field goals made. John Edwards became the 2nd player in SIUE Cougar history to gain All-American status in 1986-87, leading the Cougars to the championship game of the Great Lakes Regional Tournament. Like McFarland 12 years earlier, Edwards netted a school record 23.9 points per game that season while grabbing 8 rebounds per game. Frankie Williams is 7th all-time in Cougar scoring history and ranks 5th in career steals as a Cougar. The Jack Margenthaler era at SIUE began in 1992, and for the next 10 seasons, Margenthaler would lead the Cougars to 112 victories. Starting in 1995-96, the Cougars began play in the Great Lakes Valley Conference. On November 20th, 1993, a freshman guard from Newcastle, Indiana, took the floor for the Cougars and proceeded to score 45 points in his first game at SIUE. His name, Jason Holmes, and he would go on to become the all-time leading scorer in SIUE history with 1,949 points. Nathan Craik wore the Cougar uniform from 1994 through 1998 and finished 10th in scoring and 4th in block shots in his Cougar career. Right behind Craik in all-time scoring with 1,043 points is Travis Walbom. Walbom is 2nd all-time in rebounding at SIUE with 753 boards. Marty Perry is one of the newest members to the 1,000-point club at SIUE. Perry played for the Cougars from 1999 through 2002. On April 3, 2002, Marty Simmons was named head basketball coach at SIUE. Simmons spent 5 seasons with the Cougars, notching an 88-59 record, including a 63-29 mark in his last 3 seasons. In 2005, Simmons and the Cougars made the NCAA tournament for the first time in 16 years, led by seniors Tim Barsox, Joel Jay, Dan Hymos, Calvin Sykes, and Chris Crosby. They led the Cougars to a school-tying record, 23 wins. During the 2005-2006 campaign, SIUE notched a school record 25 wins and won another school record in 16 games in a row during that season, as they made their 2nd consecutive NCAA tournament appearance. The Cougars then made their best run in postseason history.
We opened that first game with Grand Valley State, and they were the number 2 seed. Here we are the number 7 seed playing up in St. Joe, Rensselaer, Indiana. We had a great following. We had a lot of people from down here come up. It was really nice. They were really good. They had 2 really good inside players that we decided to trap post on, and we had a good game plan. Our guys executed well and got ahead early and just kind of held on for the win, which is a big win for us. But the thing about our guys was they weren't satisfied with that.
He'll get another one here with the Cougars up 64-61. Ty Johnson with another shot on the way. Got it. 2.2 seconds left to go. The Cougars up by 4. Into the game, a couple of subs for Grand Valley State. Oh boy, we're 2.6 seconds away. Marty Simmons tells his troops are back up. Inbounds, length of the court for Grand Valley State at 65-61. SIUE is up. Baseball pass down the floor. Tipped up, stolen away by Ty Johnson. Ball up in the air, it's over. The Cougars are advancing to the round of 32. SIUE will play Quincy tomorrow at 5 p.m. For the 4th time this season, the Cougars win their first NCAA tournament game since March 17th, 1989, when they beat Ferris State in Owensboro, Kentucky. What a job for Marty Simmons to pick up this huge victory for SIUE.
we're going to play Quincy in the next game. You know, they'd beat us 3 times that year, and all 3 games were close. Our guys knew that they could beat them. You know, we got ahead on them too. I mean, Ty Johnson ended up making 19 out of 22 free throws to end that game. Actually broke a school record set by Coach Bo Collins, who's here tonight, and ended up, you know, holding on for that victory.
Anderson gets it in. It's stolen away from Ross by Anthony Jones. Jones goes in, dish off Belcher, layup good. Ryan Belcher gets the layup. The Cougars lead by 18, 50-32, 13 minutes to go in this one. Ty Johnson makes the first one. Ty back to the free throw line for another one. 79-69. Make it 80-69. Cougars up. 3.8 seconds left to go. Feldner has it. And that is going to do it. Your SIUE Cougars have set the school record with their 24th victory. And they will meet the winner of St. Joseph's in Southern Indiana on Tuesday night at 7:30 right here at St. Joseph's College. The Cougars are Sweet 16 bound.
You know, then we played Southern Indiana. We beat Southern Indiana twice that year. They were a powerhouse, national powerhouse every year. We'd had our way with them pretty much that season. Going into the game, our guys were fired up. I mean, you're one win away from the Elite Eight. You know, a place that our school had never been before, our program had never been.
Ty with it at the top of the key, down to 15 to shoot. 1:28 left on the game clock. He gets a screen from Hardick, drives in the basket, trying to go up. Hardick back to Ward. Ward for 3 on the way. Good! Justin Ward has knotted this baby up at 46 all with 1:16 to go. Ty Johnson again at the free throw line. 63-60. 64-60. J.B. Jones in front of the Southern Indiana bench pumping his fist. Gibson with 4 seconds. Pulls a long 3 on the way. No good. Out of bounds with 1 second left. That'll do it. The Cougars are headed to the Elite Eight of college basketball. Unbelievable. SIUE, the 7th seed of the Great Lakes region, is going to Springfield, Massachusetts. What an unbelievable overtime win for SIUE. They defeated Grand Valley State, defeated Quincy, and for the 3rd time this season, the Cougars beat Southern Indiana.
Lennox Forrester was named head coach of the SIUE Cougar men's basketball program on April 9, 2007. In Forrester's first season, the Cougars finished with 17 wins, the most by a coach in his first season as a head coach at SIUE. It was also the last season for SIUE in the Great Lakes Valley Conference. Forrester will oversee the program's transition to NCAA Division I as a member of the Ohio Valley Conference. The future of the SIUE Cougars is a bright one.